for, at least in the community. Obviously, all the analysts and casters do appreciate that about him. And even over here, he bought the SG, drops it over to Robs, and all he has is a Deagle and that smoke. And it's going to be Robs who's going to make that SG sing. He finds Esperanto. That's the first casualty for Crazy.
It does open up short as well. Plus, that's an extra gun that's now traded hands. The MP9 in the hands of Karrigan again. He's going in first. Otto gets the better of Frozen. Costed some of that HP, but now Nexa, the last beacon, the last bastion, the Sentinel on the site. Gonna go down, but he's done so much damage for his team. Both remaining terrorists are low, but CR4ZY'E somehow threads the eye of the needle for a second kill in quick succession, leaving Letny in a 1-on-2. Both players are low, but that's the scout that's just been smacked between his shoulder blades. Seems to be struggling for air with only 9 HP left. Can they continue to constrict him? The answer is yes. And
if they played too passively, there was a possibility that that retake could have worked out. As Otto, I'm going to shut up for a moment.
Real estate and map control. If they fully bite down on this B hit, watch for Esperanto to come around the backside, but CR4ZY'E was up to the task, and after a 4K, he's looking for more. The blood dust has completely descended for CR4ZY'E, who's going in for a second kill and probably a third. There it is onto Hunter. 7 HP remains, but Mousesports 2-1 USP to his hand, not one of the P250s. If he can get any kills, I'd be absolutely amazed. It's just going to be mosquitoes on a windshield as Crazy get wiped off. Esperanto, the only player that's really done anything on the Crazy side.
Definition, so to speak, for Mousesports. It's like everyone knows which angle to clear. It's like a well-oiled machine, which is interesting because you rarely see this team playing overpass. So
they may be edging towards, because Dust2's obviously been out quite recently. No one would really expect overpass to be removed. I'm just going to jump back into this round, though. I don't want to talk over the action. CR4ZY'E has came back. 16 HP remains, though. But with potentially Mirage going out, I think that will just increase the amount that we see overpass played, and it's going to be harder to avoid this map. So maybe this is like some long sight from Karrigan saying, look, we need to work on this map and actually make it something we can play.
As we do see Nexa and Letny just walking on out. And this is one thing about Crazy, which I find very annoying, right? The way they approach a single side, it's... Oh, hold on. Woxi has pretty much won this round single-handedly. That AK-47 completely annihilating both the players that had A bomb side, leaving Nexa and Letny in a very unenviable spot. Woxi, unfortunately, not aware of that off angle from Nexa. So it's a 2v3. The bomb is still heading over towards A, perhaps. We do have Frozen making his way towards the long one. Might catch Nexa. Never mind. Nexa will pop him, and that's going to be the call to head through the B bomb side, where Robs is already pushed on ahead. It's a 2v2. It's still a very winnable retake for Crazy.
No. Oh no, Letny was baited out by the 2 kills going down on A, so he actually moved away from the B side. You would have had probably 1 kill on the cross, especially as CR4ZY'E is very low. In terms of utility, they've got 1 flash. They have no kits, though, Blair. This is going to be a rough retake if they don't get a kill soon. The position from Robs is a really sweaty one if someone peeks heaven. But if someone comes from lower, it's going to be GG. And they're actually both coming from the lower side. Robs going to be able to get 1 kill before Letny takes his teammate down, and there's the other one. It is such a Master Guardian or something. Decent aim, but they do the most random things you don't expect because you're accustomed to a certain style of play. I'm not saying Crazy about players by any stretch, but the things they do are so out of the ordinary that it can catch veteran players that see the game a certain way completely off guard. And I feel like that's what Crazy rely on sometimes, and it really works well.
Important op for Otto. Oh yeah, they can. It's I think it's the max last one is here. Continuing to aggress. He's gonna walk on out from the smoke is a question, because that's a very high risk play. Unfortunately, Esperanto's gonna get the kill. In the meantime, action taking place over towards B, and Frozen's gonna open up the site, helped out with a flashbang by Woxi. And that's a B bomb site compromise, and it's gonna be retake territory for Crazy once more. It's a 3v3.
They have lost a few of these already, though. They're going to be looking down towards that position where Robs was sat in, and now it's CR4ZY'E from the side who executes Nexa. A bullet in the side of his head. At least it was a clean kill. Otto, in the meanwhile, peering down with his AWP. Got 1. Knows that CR4ZY'E was last seen to his right-hand side below heaven. No idea where Frozen currently resides. It's behind the pillar, obviously. We have the benefit of being able to see that. And Esperanto is about to find it out firsthand, leaving Otto in heaven. They know exactly where he is. They don't need to peek him. He's got the
towards that water area. Might find 1 kill, though. Next nearby. He lands the flick through the edge of the wall, but not quite able to. But Karrigan about to make an escape, but he will fall. But now they know exactly what AWP is, and they should know the rest of the other players not going to have rifles to work with, so they're going to be going for a fast play towards B.
Yeah.
Like 7-1 on T side, that's immense. That's so immense for Mousesports. This is them pretty much aggro plays, and then they started using utility. And Karrigan, in the meantime, just destroys Otto. He was scoped in, but Karrigan walks in from connector and annihilates him. And meantime, look towards long, Vince.
There's two players here, though. They could be baited in. Oh, maybe it's not going to be required. Esperanto, 2 kills and a headshot. 291 ADR in the space of a second. That is ridiculous. And that individual effort could yield them the round, or perhaps not. Nex has fallen to the hands of Karrigan, who has 13 HP remaining. He's going to pick up the AWP. Just going to smoke to make sure he doesn't get picked off on the cross, so we can try and rummage together this bomb. Still plenty of time. Plus, Rops is taking some control down in connector, so he can quickly rotate if it's called upon. That smoke's not ideal, though, actually. There's still a gap. Karrigan still needs to get his hands on the bomb, and Hunter's there with the flick. Winding back the years is Karrigan. And meanwhile, Letney going to be trying to get into connector himself. Fortunately from him, Rops has already vacated the area. But unfortunately for Mousesports, he's now got his eyes on a site. They still got to smoke and a couple of flashbangs. This is going to need to be used perfectly. Otherwise, one of these two players is going to be going down. And it's Karrigan. He was the bomb carrier. 10 seconds to go. Rops has got to get the bomb plus plant it just behind the site. And Letney's not going to rush into this in case it's a fake. A USP versus an SG. Rops now should be the favorite. But the AWP's going to come out. Letney just checking his angles, making doubly sure. Rops in the meanwhile. Next bullet gets it, and Letney spins across.
At a Esperanto, the Molotov pushing him out. Another Molotov towards the bomb train, and he's going to be playing all the way from the back of bank, but he's going to find one looking for more. But he's down to 21 HP, waiting patiently for backup to arrive.
Has he done enough, though, to hold the line now? It's crazy. 10 seconds to go. Not for the first time. Nexa drills into 2 players. It's down to Rops. 8 seconds. He's going to have to put 1 player down per 3 seconds now. And that's all that remains for him. Can maybe take out Hunter, but that's going to be all she wrote for the round.
Without having that many casualties before they can feel a little comfortable. Right now, they're not out of the water yet, but a beautiful shot by Letney decapitates CR4ZY'E. And a little bit of a mistimed nade there by his teammates. But the second nade actually did a bit more damage than the Karrigan.
It does seem like Crazy's starting to awaken from their slumber, and it is a bit reminiscent to Dust 2 in parts. Obviously, it wasn't this one-sided, and they went on the CT side of a pretty CT-sided map, but Matt Rops, oh, he's had enough. He wants to put Crazy to bed, anticipating the peak, and Hunter runs into a hail of bullets and loses his head. Crazy may very well lose the round 2 on top of it. Some exquisite plays again by Rops, who's been in beautiful form today. Even on Dust 2, when his team lost, he was the shining light. They still need to get this round clutched, and it's Otto that remains. Rops has gone in for another one. He's on for the ace. Otto's going to try and deny it from him as he pieces out of there and goes for yet another save. Crazy in real trouble. It was just looking like they were going to build some steam.
And Rops hears the player running back towards CD spawn for the save, and there is a player hunting him down. I do believe that is Woxi, because when we're waiting for him in the bathroom, so Otto should be very aware of this. He's scoped in, so he should win this duel. Never mind,
Woxi that's been running with it mainly. They're going to go for the boost. Esperanto going to be peeking towards the short pipe. No one's home. Now looking across, the monster has to fall off. It's a very vulnerable position from the lower side of the site, but there are kills being exchanged. Karrigan now going to take the point. Is this really happening? Is this really going to happen for you, Mousesports? Maybe not. Rops, again, cool by name, cool by nature. He's going to be putting them bodies down. Frozen. Nade goes in. I thought he was going to do a lot more damage than that, to be honest. But still, Mousesports
getting 11 rounds here, and that's pretty much GG. Unless Crazy are able to grind it back, get at least 6 rounds on the board to make something work. But Otto is going to win the duel towards mid. Woxi didn't have an op to work with, though. A nice double stereo frags that Bardolph would say simultaneously. And now Rops, what can he possibly do? He has done quite a bit single-handedly earlier. He does find Letney, so that's one op taken out of the equation, but still 4 players for the CTs alive. And look at the flank coming in from Esperanto towards long. He should find the skill on the Frozen. It should be a free kill for him. There we go. Finds Frozen, and now there's 2 players left alive. They know exactly where Rops is. I'm not too sure if they're aware of CR4ZY'E's position, but a 2v4, this is unlikely.
It certainly is, but look who's left alive. Rops and CR4ZY'E combined have 31 kills between the two of them. They've been absolutely ridiculous. Make that 32. Esperanto, in the meanwhile, goes for a peek on connector. Needs to be careful what he wishes for. Closing the door as if faking as if they've gone up connector. Meanwhile, Rops shimmying up. Gonna have a 1v1 against Hunter. Not like this crazy. A 2v4 is now looking like it could very well go the way of Mousesports. 30 seconds left, more than enough time to take it onto the site and get it planted. They don't have to rush into this one, but they feel like they need to. ChrisJ gets the bomb planted. Otto, in the meanwhile, dispatches of his teammate. Now ChrisJ lurking in the smoke, gonna come out there, play so aggressive. That's the first flick. If he pulled that off, I would have lost my mind.
Might be seeing a little bit of some aggressive play. I say aggressive, but look at ChrisJ like a madman. Walks out with the B bomb side, finds both the kills. That's a B bomb side gone. That's Mousesports for the taking. The round's done. The round's done. Spaces just fall on back and hold on to the 3 rifles they have remaining. How did that even happen?
Well, this is exactly what we were talking about when it was crazy. We were saying that they do these plays, but they don't telegraph it with flashes or smokes. They push a player out and it can catch people off guard because you expect, okay, it's formulaic. Here come the smokes, here comes the flashes, here comes the push. If you just push him before anything else and you just take it super aggressive, you are going to catch players without crossfires established. That's exactly what ChrisJ did. He is feeling it right now. His confidence is skyrocketing. He is landing every single shot that's ahead of him, landing crazy flicks. And with the SG, as you say, single-handedly takes the round away. They should be able to save these 3 guns as it's only really Woxi that went hunting for them. But Mousesports on 10 rounds already on their T side.
The 2 remaining members from the old Mousesports core patiently spotted Woxi. Trigger finger is very patient indeed. It's gonna strike, finds both 2 kills real quickly, looking for, and he gets it. Oh, unfortunately, runs out of bullets, and Frozen will punish him for it. But 3K for Esperanto. And if Crazy's not going to...
This round down, there is some serious problems. It would be another... Well, it's not actually a 2v4. It would be a 2v5. As Esperanto went down after claiming 2 frags of his own. So this would be even a step further. This time it's not ChrisJ.
Frozen making the way towards an A bomb site, but the 2 players ready and waiting. Make that 4. As Nexa will have no trouble finding Frozen. And Rops.
Nearly lands the headshot. He's been pretty quiet so far on Overpass. And he's been silenced once again. This is going to be crazy barreling down on the A site. There are already players here, though, from Mousesports. They didn't go for a B stack. Rops, joined by Carrigan, going to be looking to try and repel the oncoming terrorist. Carrigan has the first point of call. He's trying to tap himself into a victory. Here comes Rops, but he's going to go very much the same way, leaving ChrisJ and Frozen in a 2-on-3. Frozen is going to peek up and gets 2 kills, actually. Out of nowhere, comes out swinging with 2 USP headshots. He was on the flank, leaving Esperanto up close, trying to fend off against 2 separate angles. Decides to take the initiative with the peek, and it's going to be Esperanto can peek through. Nowhere near deep enough to go into the bathrooms either, so I was going to say that Frozen may be caught out, assuming that the smoke was in place, but it's beautiful headshot delivered anyway. Hamas at range, going to come out worse for wear against the SG-wielding Otto. There's still 2 players on the B side. They think this could be some kind of a fake. That's not the case, though. Crazy are going in on the A side. It's going to be down to both ChrisJ and Frozen to try and hold on for dear life. An M4 and an MP9 between the 2 of them. Firepower-wise, they're actually coming out worse for wear. But there's the spray from Frozen. 10 seconds to go. They have to try and get rid of him. They have to try and uproot him from his position on truck, and they're going to do just that. Meanwhile, still a player in Monster. I am so confused as to why this rotation hasn't came in earlier. Now Rops is going to have to wait until Carrigan can get in position. He's still traipsing up through lower. Doesn't want to make any noise. Doesn't want to give any sound cues across to Crazy. So they can both focus their attention over on Dumpster and Bank. And now Rops is going to go in, checking his angles. There's the first frag that goes his way, leaving Hunter 1-on-2, AK-47 in hand. And down he will fall to Rops. So it was a slow rotation.
Just a sheer methodical approach to the game. Like, the way he was clearing out every angle possible, leaves nothing to chance, and that's one thing I love watching about him. If there's a new player who wants to like get into Counter-Strike and wants to become a player, instead of anyone else compared to, let's say, a simpler Zy'E, I'd rather him watch Rob. I think it's a perfect example. But hold on to that thought. We do have an initial exchange taking place. Frozen, he's alone, is waiting for backup to arrive, which is taking place. Carrigan's waiting alongside him towards Optimus. And a nice flashback from his teammates. Is going to go for another flash is a question. Yep, second flash comes in. Frozen's going to peek out. Beautiful shot, but not able to follow up as Otto does get sprayed.
Yes, that's just an exquisite passage of play for Mousesports. And it's gone from better to pretty much round winning. It's only Nexa that can continue the pressure, and it could be alleviated momentarily if he loses his head. There's 3 separate angles he has to go for. They have control of the bomb. They have more than enough firepower to repel this push. Nexa hoping to try and peek them one by one.
But these other players do, as we do see a hit coming in towards A. Just that one flashbang to pop in, and Woxi and Frozen are ready and waiting. They're going to find one, a P250 pre-fire by Nexus, picked up an AK-47 as well. This could be quite troublesome, but Karşi's going to pop on out, finds one, finds two, and it's going to be all on Let Me, who will be found by CR4ZY'E.
Man, that would bring up the worst in humanity for sure. This half also, though, and this map indeed is definitely the crazy nightmare taking shape. It has Mana Big Pick was trying to fake as if he's gone back up the ladder, but CR4ZY'E checks it anyway, spins around, there's his second kill. Letney to try and get some kind of avenging frag in play. But if he overextends into connector, he's going to be a goner. There were two players residing in there. The second was Woxi. And now the two Ts are isolated. To make matters worse, they're also being flanked. So this is almost an impossible round. Letney's going to have to get a move on. He has control of the bomb. That's the only thing going his way. A player in connector is Woxi. Both CR4ZY'E and Frozen are flanking behind him. And if Letney comes out and checks up on Heaven or lower, he's going to get pummeled from CR4ZY'E, who's watching from pit. And there we have it. 10 map points to take us to trade. Oh, absolutely. We had some question marks, and the answers have been pretty brisk. Karrigan, CR4ZY'E. Easy kills. Easy round, potentially, but Letney's not going to allow Karrigan to survive any longer. It is the kind of position, honestly, that to get 2 kills from is sick, but you're not likely to kill any more than that. You're very much claustrophobic and tight in the angle. Otto, 1-on-4, dispatches of the first. This would be something truly special. No grenades to his name. Also doesn't have control of the bomb. May feel like his best course of action is to just go full-on ruthless and see if he can get as many kills as possible. And things may fall into place. Time starting to dwindle away as well. CR4ZY'E, insta-headshot is put in his place. This is now possible. Third player going to face him. It's going to be Woxi in the connector, but that tight angle is